A vibrant young teacher with everything to look forward to found dead with 20 stab wounds in her own kitchen. Her parents refused to believe she died by suicide. Their fight for justice raising confounding questions.
My fiance's on the floor with blood everywhere.
Is this a house or apartment?
Oh no! Oh no!
A broken latch, a pool of blood, and 20 knife wounds.
There's a knife sticking out of her heart.
Oh, she stabbed herself?
Ellen Greenberg was found dead by her fiancé in the kitchen of their Philadelphia apartment in 2011. The medical examiner initially ruled the 27-year-old's death a homicide before switching to suicide.
Philadelphia is calling this a suicide just does not add up.
This is an unusual case because there were mistakes from the very beginning. I have investigated stabbing suicides in my career, but I've never seen anyone stab themselves in the back.
The case shut without further investigation, leaving more questions than answers.
What do you think happened to your daughter?
I don't know what happened to her. It's so painful and so crushing.
For 14 long years, her parents, Sandy and Josh Greenberg, have made it their life's work to fight to get their daughter's gruesome death fully investigated.
We haven't mourned.
It's been a long, layered process. It's like an onion. There's still more layers.
Their fight chronicled in a new docuseries by ABC News Studios, Death in Apartment 603. What happened to Ellen Greenberg?
It is our responsibility to Ellen to find out the truth.
Piecing together what may have happened that fateful night.
I think raising awareness of all of the inconsistencies and the flaws in the investigation was really the overarching goal.
Ellen's case, it feels like it transcends just a true crime series for entertainment purposes. It feels like it could actually have some real world impact and effects.
The series executive produced by actresses and sisters, Dakota and Elle Fanning.
We felt that it was very important to, if we could, be a part of getting answers for her family and ultimately her receiving the justice that she deserves.
Why should people watch this docuseries?
I think it's a case that it's been overlooked for too long, and so hopefully we can shed light on that story and also get to know beautiful Ellen.
It was January 26, 2011, and the city of Philadelphia was hunkering down amidst a snowstorm. Ellen, a school teacher, was working on her students' grades in the apartment she shared with her fiancé, Sam Goldberg.
What we know is Sam Goldberg left the apartment at approximately 4:50 p.m. Per him, Ellen is alive and well and inside of that apartment. He is gone for give or take 38 and a half to 40 minutes at the gym and the lobby area, which you can see on CCTV.
Sam says he goes back to their apartment to find it locked, latched from the inside. He texts Ellen multiple times to let him in, and after making trips to the front desk, he says he breaks down their front door, where he finds Ellen slouched over on their kitchen floor.
Oh my God, she stabbed herself.
Where?
She fell with a knife. Oh no, her knife's sticking out.
What?
There's a knife sticking out of her heart.
Oh, she stabbed herself?
I guess so. I don't know where she fell on it. I don't know.
Ellen had 20 knife wounds to her chest, torso, and the back of her neck. She was pronounced dead at the scene.
After Sam spoke with the detectives, they believed that Ellen was experiencing mental health issues. So instead of investigating this, they call it a suicide on scene.
When this horrific event took place, the whole world kind of went dark for Josh and I.
We don't believe this was a suicide.
Right.
This is the farthest thing from our mind.
The day after Ellen's death, with the green light from police, the apartment was deep cleaned by professional crime scene cleaners. But then, the day after that, the medical examiner ruled her death a homicide. He also noted bruising on her body in various stages of healing, raising even more questions.
What were your interactions with the police like?
The communication was very lacking.
I found out that they had changed, that it was what we called a homicide through word of mouth. I don't know who told me, but it was before I did the eulogy.
So there's an interesting period where the police and the medical examiner actually clash. and they don't agree, which is unusual, and they clash publicly.
Police told me the scene was carried as a suicide that night because Sam had stayed on the scene and was cooperative. There were no signs of an intruder in the apartment, and Ellen didn't have any defensive wounds on her body.
Once the medical examiners ruled this a homicide, it's like, whoa, go back and investigate. Too late. We allowed the crime scene to be cleared. And I'm not talking residential cleaners. I'm talking crime scene cleaners to come in and clean the crime scene.
Police never named any suspects. Weeks later, a shocking development. The medical examiner does a 180, publicly declaring Ellen's death a suicide. The decision came after a closed-door meeting with members of multiple agencies, including the police.
I was so devastated and so distraught.
Suicide is not a crime in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. In other words, there is no investigation. They're done.
Her young students left grieving.
I couldn't believe it. I've never dealt with death before that.
I think Ellen was murdered.
And so, in your scenario, somebody got away with murder.
That's what I believe.
Years go by and Ellen's story starts to fade from public view until the Greenbergs meet a veteran state trooper turned private investigator named Tom Brennan.
He started reviewing things, and he took papers home and things we gave him that we had, and he came back and said, something's wrong here. This is not right.
After years of investigation, Tom felt it was time to go to the media. That's where the reporting by Stephanie Farr comes in, an investigative journalist with the Philadelphia Inquirer.
It was liberating. It was compelling. That was a monumental point in the journey of trying to figure out what happened in apartment 603.
It was extremely well read. It generated a ton of interest on social media, from reader emails, and also in the true crime community.
But what gets me is the physical evidence. She has stab wounds.
And her case has been plagued with investigative failures. If you're just beginning to play along,
the case took a very strange and unexpected turn.
That just do not seem to align with suicide.
And it really just sort of snowballs into eventually this lawsuit demanding that the city change their designation from suicide to either homicide or undetermined.
With Ellen's case gaining traction in the court of public opinion, the Greenbergs filed another lawsuit, alleging a conspiracy involving the medical examiner's office and the Philadelphia Police Department's deeply botched investigation.
Raise your right hand, please.
During the deposition, the original medical examiner on the case testified that the police gave him information that led him to believe Ellen died by suicide, including that the building security guard witnessed her fiancé, Sam Goldberg, breaking down the front door to find Ellen. But that claim later refuted by CCTV footage showing Sam going up to the apartment alone around that time.
There was a report that said I escorted Sam to the unit. When I learned that, I was really upset. I'm not allowed to leave the post other than for law enforcement. It's real simple.
In Sam's 2 interviews with investigators, he never expressly states that anyone was with him when he broke in. However, while the police report doesn't mention that anyone was with Sam, the medical examiner's report does. And that's the report that Dr. Osborne used to determine Ellen's manner of death.
Sam Goldberg did not respond to the producer's request for comment, but in his statement to CNN last December, he said in part, "When Ellen took her own life, it left me bewildered. Mental illness is very real and has many victims." And just this past February, another stunning development. Just as a judge cleared the way for the lawsuits to go to trial, the Greenbergs' attorney says the medical examiner struck a deal. According to court documents, Dr. Marlon Osborne signed a statement saying, "I have become aware of additional information. It is my professional opinion Ellen's manner of death should be designated as something other than suicide." Just days later, yet another bombshell. The city settling both lawsuits.
The Greenbergs settled with the city of Philadelphia, but part of that agreement was that the city would expeditiously reopen and re-examine the investigation.
Nearly 8 months after that settlement, the Greenbergs still don't know the outcome of that re-examination. Ellen's death is still classified as a suicide. Sandy and Josh say their fight is far from over.
I think one could only hope that their parents would fight for them as much as Sandy and Josh have. They have fought for justice for her every step, dedicated their lives from that moment on to fighting for their daughter who can't speak for herself anymore.
But some answers could be just weeks away.
On October 14th, we will learn what the city has found in their reinvestigation. Either Ellen's case could be determined a homicide. It could be determined undetermined. They might say, after all of the evidence put in front of them and time, that they're going to stick with suicide. If it is a homicide or undetermined, that could trigger a criminal investigation.
The Philadelphia Police Department, the medical examiner's office, the district attorney, the attorney general, and Dr. Marlon Osborne all declined to be interviewed and declined to comment for the series.
What does justice look like for Ellen in this case?
Not being labeled a suicide victim. Ellen could be your daughter. Ellen could be your sister. She could be your granddaughter. Everybody deserves fairness. Everyone deserves justice. That's what we want.
Death in Apartment 603. What Happened to Ellen Greenberg is streaming now on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+.